Should Arsenal be considering a move for Brentford's Ivan Toney? Yes, people, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, if you do not want to miss daily Arsenal transfer news videos, this is the place to be. You have to subscribe down below on my road to 4,000 subscribers. And importantly, because a lot of people forget this, hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future video on this channel. And let me know your thoughts on Ivan Toney. Let's get straight into the tweet brought today by aftv. As I'm sure you can guess, this is not any concrete transfer news. This is more of a discussion regarding Ivan Toney. And this video blew up recently after Arsenal's 5-3 win over Barcelona, and Troop said this. He said Arsenal should sign Ivan Toney, and the question today is, should Arsenal try and sign Ivan Toney in January? Now, they're saying January. The reason aftv is saying January, right, is because of his ban due to gambling. He's not allowed any footballing activities until January 2024. I'm not sure whether that means just within the UK. I don't know whether that's just an FA imposed ban, or that means football ban full stop. Meaning, if that is the case, Brentford could loan him out, for example, to Italy, and he can play there for 6 months, then come back and play in the Premier League. Because right now, I believe it's an FA-only ban. However, if it becomes a football worldwide ban, that means he's not allowed any footballing activities at all until 2024. Now, here's my thoughts on that, first of all. Look, the ban was a bit harsh. It didn't need to be that lengthy, but FA are trying to prove a point. They don't want people gambling. But it's a bit hypocritical, because how many footballing teams do you see that have gambling shirts as sponsors? How many football adverts do you see, how many adverts do you see before football games with gambling involved? Before every single Sky Sports game, Bet365 advert giving you the odds. Gambling is so inherent in football, yet when a footballer does it, it becomes the worst possible thing. Now, I'm not being funny. I understand that he should not gamble. He's a role model for kids, and gambling is such a dangerous thing. But he's hypocritical in the sense where when the Premier League's making money, when football's making money from gambling adverts, shirt sponsors, it's all fine by them. They put a little sticker at the front saying, "Oh, don't gamble, don't risk all your money. If it stops being fun, then stop doing it." They're fine with that. But as soon as a player starts doing it, then it becomes a big problem. But that aside, he's been banned. That's the be all and end all of it. Ivan Toney is a player, absolutely superb. I'm not even lying to you guys. He would be my dream realistic Arsenal signing for a striker position. And when I say realistic, I mean because my dream signing for Arsenal as a striker would be Harry Kane, right? Because I think he's a brilliant striker for Arsenal, literally the perfect profile. But I don't see us getting Harry Kane from Tottenham. I know it's happened before. We've got Sol Campbell from Tottenham in the past, but I can't see it happening in this day and age. Harry Kane might be on his way to Bayern Munich anyway. But next in line, genuinely for me, is Ivan Toney. He is very similar to Harry Kane in his profile. Both strong players, strong as an ox, hold up play brilliant. Brilliant in link up play as well. Super important striker for Brentford. He scored 20 goals last season. In 33 matches, he scored 20 goals for Brentford. In his debut season in the Premier League, he scored 12 goals, I believe, in 33 appearances for Brentford. The man's a goal scorer. For all his hold-up play, for all his link-up, he bags you goals as well. And I think we desperately need that in this football club. How many times have I said that? Any team that wins the Premier League or wins the Champions League, they all have a goal scorer. Look through history. Any team you want. The Leicester team that won the Premier League in that 2016 fluke season. Jamie Vardy, their out-and-out goal scorer. Alan Shearer in those days for Blackburn. Sergio Aguero all those years for Man City. Salah doing it for Liverpool. It doesn't have to be a striker, just an attacker that will get you goals. Henry for Arsenal. And then, of course, last season, Erling Haaland was a difference maker, allowing Man City to win the Premier League over our club Arsenal. We need an out-and-out goal scorer. I believe Ivan Toney can be that man. He's a super underrated striker, even in this day and age. Every time I watch him, he impresses me. And for him to get 20 goals in 33 appearances in that Brentford team, imagine what he'd get in this Arsenal team with Ødegaard supplying him, Saka supplying him, Trossard, the king of assists, supplying him. I think it'd be a brilliant, brilliant sight. Now, here's the thing regarding it, right? It's going to be a difficult deal to pull off this summer because obviously he's on his ban right now. And Brentford are going to want a lot of money because it is a Premier League to Premier League switch. But my genuine opinion on it is I don't mind if we don't sign anyone for the rest of this summer if we then pull all our money and go big or go home for Ivan Toney in the January. That's my genuine opinion on it. I think we desperately need a player of that profile because I love Gabriel Jesus to bits. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans absolutely love what Jesus does for us. But I think we can all agree in the sense that Gabriel Jesus is not going to get you 20 goals a season. He isn't. Never did it at Man City, and he didn't get it in Man City with De Bruyne and all them, man. He's not going to get it at Arsenal. That's not Jesus' game. Now, Jesus is brilliant in what he does. Linking up play, dropping deep, being agile, drifting to the right wing, drifting to the left wing, taking on defenders, committing bodies. But he will not put the ball in the back of the net in a consistent enough basis to be a top level striker in a title winning team. Yes, Man City won a title with him in that team, 100% they did. But with Erling Haaland coming in, they end up winning the Champions League and the FA Cup alongside it in the same season. That's the difference. Do you get what I mean? It's that little step up. Just that extra little yard, that extra little inch that can take you from a great team to a world-class team to then a forever remembered elite team of world football. And I think we want to reach that stage because we're not a million miles away. Look, we've not achieved anything in this current run right now. 100% agree. But we're not a million miles away from winning the Premier League. Genuinely, we're not. I think we've got much better this summer already with the additions of Declan Rice, Urian Timber and Kai Havertz. And I think Man City, I don't think they've necessarily got much worse, but you can't say they've got any better. They've lost Gundogan, who's a massive player for them. Riyad Mahrez, who's a massive player for them. Who knows what happens with Kyle Walker, for example. So I can't sit there and say Man City have got relatively better. So you got to look at it from that standpoint and go, we're not a million miles away from Man City. We pushed them this close last season. We're getting better. They're not exactly getting better themselves. We might have another run at them next season. Now, of course, you've got other clubs factored in, such as the Liverpool, see how they bounce back. Man United, are they going to get better? Chelsea, they're a bit of a wild card. Newcastle alike. So you don't know what's going to happen there. But we can focus on ourselves. And I genuinely believe if we have a top caliber striker up front, where if we had Ivan Toney up front last season, I think we win the Premier League. Genuinely, I do. If we had Erling Haaland up front last season, we win the Premier League. Your strike is a difference. Because everyone talks about how defence wins championships and attackers win games. And I agree. The defence is the foundation of your team. Your defence needs to be solid. And when Saliba went out injured, it completely cost us last season. I'm not saying that's an excuse. It shouldn't be an excuse. For a club of the magnitude of Arsenal Football Club, losing one player to an injury shouldn't dictate whether you win or don't win the league. But at the end of the day, your striker needs to put the ball in the back of the net. That's just the be all and end all. How many games last season? Southampton 3-3. Chance at the end to score. Didn't quite happen. Brentford 1-1. Couldn't quite put the ball in the back of the net. West Ham 2-2. Couldn't quite put the ball in the back of the net. Just that one goal scorer, that one striker that when the ball falls to him in the box, he's going to put it in the back of the net consistently. And I think we're just missing that. Now, I think we can survive next season without a striker until next summer. I genuinely think we can if Jesus stays fit, for example. But if we sell Eddie Nketiah and sell Follow and Balogun for about 40 million each, let's say, roughly, and if we couple that with the sales of Pepe, Rob Holding, Cedric Suarez, Lokonga, Tavares, etc., we could raise 100 million at least from our fringe players. Then we go in January and we put the money up for Ivan Toney. We don't put 100 million straight away because then we've got nowhere to go up from there. But we should be willing to spend a lot of money on Ivan Toney. I'm talking 80 million. I'd still be happy to spend that type of money on that type of player. Because I think he's absolutely incredible. His player's going to get better. I think he's going to get better in the Arsenal system. He's used to holding up the play. He can win you headers because we know Arteta likes to cross the ball anyway. He's a proven goal-scoring finisher. And you know what else? And a lot of people will say this isn't a right point, but I think it's a massive part of football. I love his personality as well. I love players that play with a little bit of edge to their game, like an Aaron Ramsdale type player. Ramsdale isn't your typical goalkeeper. He will wind up the crowd. He'll wind up the other players. He'll do those acrobatic saves. He's a showstopper. He's an entertainer. And it really helps having those personalities. I talked about how all previous winners of the Premier League have a proven goal scorer in their team. Equally, look at all previous teams in the Premier League that have won the Premier League. They have personalities flowing through their team. Whether it's Roy Keane at Man United, whether it's Jamie Vardy at Leicester City, Patrick Vieira and Thierry Henry at Arsenal. These are cultured footballers that have when they're on the pitch, they've got that personality to them. A little bit of swagger, a little bit of arrogance. But they've got their own style, that aura around them. And I believe Ivan Toney has that. Whether you like him, whether you dislike him, he's got an aura to him. He's got a personality to him. You respect the man more than anything. And I think he would absolutely embody everything about Arsenal Football Club. Now, the one reason I don't think Arsenal will buy him, away from money and all that, is of course a tweet he made the start of the season before last season, where he said, good to kick about of the boys, and Arteta really got annoyed with that. He doesn't tolerate any sort of respect. But that could be water under the bridge, right? People change, things happen. He was excited to score his goal against to win the first game against Arsenal. It's one of those things. I don't hold anything against him for that. Obviously, when he comes to the club, if Arsenal do sign him, he should be apologising for that first thing. But it's one of those things. I hold no grudges over Ivan Toney with that comment whatsoever. He was just happy to win his first game back to the Premier League with Brentford City. No problem whatsoever with that. Sorry, AFC Brentford, I should say. Sorry, but yeah, that's the only thing I can see as a blemish because I know Arteta takes respect. Basically second to none. That's one of his number one attributes that he looks for in a player. He doesn't have any player. He doesn't tolerate disrespect at all. So that's the one blemish that I could have. But other than that, if you ask me who I believe the perfect striker for Arsenal would be, if it's not Harry Kane, for me it's Ivan Toney. Embodies everything we need in that football club, man. Everything we need. I'd love to see Arsenal try and sign Ivan Toney. Genuinely, we could go for a bid this summer if we want to. Knowing that we can't have him until next season. Until January. I still wouldn't mind. Because he is that good of a player. But other than that, I don't mind us not signing anyone else this summer. If in January we go big for Ivan Toney, and I mean big in the sense that we went for Mudryk, but go fully over the line, try and get Ivan Toney to this football club. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Please do let me know. Would you like to see Ivan Toney come to Arsenal? And if not Ivan Toney, who would you like to see as a star striker Arsenal bring in? Or do you not believe Arsenal do need a striker? And would you rather Arsenal target another position, for example? As always, if you're new around here and you enjoy football-related content, in particular Arsenal transfer news dailies, this is the place to be. You have to subscribe down below. I'm road to 4,000 subscribers. And importantly, hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future video on this channel. Drop a like down below so this video gets out to more people. And I hope to catch you all in my next one. Take care.